What's up everyone, Coach Aaron here. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. In today's episode, what we're going to be talking about is the deadlift. So stay tuned. So let's get started. So basically what the deadlift is a barbell movement which is going to work your glutes, hamstrings, and lower back, and sometimes a little bit of your quads actually. It's a whole movement, barbell movement, that's going to work your whole posterior chain. And for those of you who don't know what the posterior chain is, it's pretty much all your muscles in the back of your body. So basically what I'm going to explain to you today is just basically how to execute the deadlift. And if you're a powerlifter or someone who just generally wants to get stronger or simply wants to build more muscle, then in my opinion, everyone should deadlift. If you're not deadlifting and you don't like to deadlift, then you could choose like a deadlift variation, such as like a Romanian deadlift or a stiff leg deadlift. The list goes on, but in my opinion, everyone should generally do some type of hip hinge or deadlift. So I'm not gonna ramble on about how to deadlift from here, but I'd rather show you from these clips on how to execute it step by step. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, right into the audio. So first thing you're going to do is approach the bar and make sure that the bar is sitting right on top of the midfoot. Once you have that done, next you're going to grab the bar and bring your shins to the barbell. Now, when I say this, you don't want to move the barbell with your shins. The most important thing is to keep the bar still as possible and make sure that you're not moving the barbell forward. By doing this, you're going to shift the bar forward and off the center of your midfoot. Now, as far as grip goes, what you're going to do is make sure that you're gripping the bar as tight as possible. This is going to be done with an overhand grip. Now, as weight gets heavier, you're going to switch to an over-under grip. This is the best grip for lifting as much weight as possible. And then the other option is a hook grip, which is used with a lot of Olympic lifters. Now, two common errors that I usually see in the setup is people place the bar right on top of their toes. Now, if you do this, you're probably going to have to bring your shins a lot further down to touch the bar, and it's going to look like a squat. You do not want to squat the weight up. You want to use your hips to pull the weight up. Now, another thing that I usually see is people place the bar right near their shins, meaning they have no distance to bring their shins to the bar. And what usually happens is they push the bar all the way down to their toes, like shown here. The other error that I usually see when in this position is that they're going to have to do a stiff leg deadlift, which is just going to be all glutes or lower back, which is a big no-no if you're trying to deadlift. Now, once we have the bar over midfoot and we bring our shins to the bar, we want to make sure that we're engaging our lats and puffing our chest up. So some common cues that I like to use is roll your shoulders back and puff up your chest. This is going to make sure that our back is nice and tight and that we're not rounding when we're lifting the weight up. Now, when actually trying to lift the bar up, you're going to think of two things while you're trying to lift. Number one is push your feet through the floor. Number two is you're going to pull as hard as you can and snap your hips through. By doing this, you're going to have a nice clean deadlift at the top. Now the other thing that I want to mention is your breath. So what you want to do before even doing all these steps is make sure that you're breathing into your stomach and pushing your stomach out as hard as possible. This is going to make sure that we're having enough core stability while we're doing the lift. Now the two things that you don't want to do while trying to lift the bar up is pop your hips up too early. This is just going to look like a stiff leg deadlift and you're just going to be using all your lower back muscles. The second thing that you don't want to do is dip your hips too low. this is just going to look like a squat, and you're just going to be dragging the bar up against your quads. Now, the last thing I want to mention is making sure that the bar travels in a straight line when lifting the weight up. This is going to make sure that our bar is underneath our center of gravity, making sure that we're not placing any shear force in any joints. Now, we're going to sum up everything that we learned in this video. So the first thing is we're going to approach the bar, making sure that the bar is underneath our midfoot. Once we have that established, we're going to make sure that we're taking a big breath into our stomach, creating a lot of tension in our core. Once we have that done, we're going to grab the bar, bring our shins to the bar, puff up our chest, roll our shoulders back, push our feet through the floor, and finish at the top. Well, I hope you enjoyed this deadlift video. Hope it made things a little more simple for you. Anyways, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the content that you saw, subscribe, and don't forget to comment down below. Thank you so much for watching again. Take care.